What is up, YouTube? And today we're going to be talking about the limited unit that is actually currently running in the rotation, and that is Byblis. Now, Byblis is a pretty decent support unit. You're going to see that she is extremely powerful against characters that counterattack because she will CR push herself and also even attack the enemy and decrease buff durations and decrease defense, right, with the heal for her entire team, which is very, very strong. She also has this decreased hit chance and also the ability to remove souls, which is very good for RTA. You can see that mine isn't really skill enhanced that much. She's a pretty low investment unit. You kind of use her similar to Rwana. You do have to be careful though because her S2 does count as a counterattack. So you can proc things like Lionheart Sermia. So it kind of makes her a little bit worse, but we're going to show you that in Guild Wars she is perfectly fine. This is the build that I have my Byblis on. There's a lot of ways to build her, guys, but I have her on a decently tanky build with decent speed as well and some effectiveness. You can, mix and match between health, speed, effectiveness, and defense as you wish, depending on what you want. But these are the 4 stats you only really need on her. Everything else, like damage, Byblis is okay too, but I think just a full tanky, speedy with some effectiveness built in is going to be very good for her. Artifact wise, Iron Fan is going to be one of her best ones. There's a lot of different options you can use. I like Iron Fan the best though because after you activate your S2, you'll actually Combat Rainer's push herself. And this is important because her S2 doesn't activate, whenever a counterattack happens. It's once per turn that she takes because there's a 1-turn cooldown. So you do want to cycle pretty quickly to reset this as soon as you can. So here we're actually going to test her out in regular arena. I think this is a better depiction of how she is. You're not going to really use her in Guild Wars that much. She's pretty good in regular arena though against characters such as ML Landy who have counterattacks, and she pairs very, very well with Rwana. Now, they do have an AOL, which does suck because if I do S3, it'll proc her passive. So I'm just going to S1 her. And what we're basically doing here is, honestly, you can auto with this team, right? So Byblis plus Rwana plus whatever knight you have available, and then whatever damage dealer you have. Seaside Bologna is very, very good. ML Bologna is very, very good as well. You can just pretty much auto through. You can also use like Afternoon Soak Flan as your damage dealer. There's a lot of damage dealers you can swap in and out, and also a lot of knights. But for the core, you're most likely going to be using this Byblis Rwana setup here, and that's mostly because of the fact that you just have infinite healing from counterattacks. And my Seaside Bologna is on lifesteal set, so she'll heal a lot. You can see that we are going to get a ton of healing here. And my SSB will bat back, very good against AoE counterattackers. And also, of course, we have the Byblis also counterattack with her S2. And you can see it does decent damage, even without any, attacking for chance for damage. Even though it's only like 2k, it's AoE. You have to keep that in mind. And you can see she's doing it again because she did cycle and take her turn. So you can kind of see why she's very toxic against counter teams. She cycles very fast and gets her S2 off over and over. Even if she does get silenced here, which she will still be able to proc her passive, which is just very, very strong. So here, we are just fishing for counterattacks. Honestly, I should probably be targeting this guy so that we can counterattack. And there is no way this kills through Aureus, and because Byblis is so tanky, I might get stunned, which is okay. But keep in mind the ML Landy was blinded, which just cripples a ton of the counter-attacking characters, right? And you can just see, just shred through this team, and Byblis really carried with that heal, that defense break, and also, of course, the blind was super huge. I think people really underrate the blind debuff a lot. And you can see, pretty easy battle, pretty simple, and we will just finish, the Karina off. And now you can see that we're bringing her into a pretty common team comp once again. Just a tank down team comp with Rwana to stop cleave and just counter attackers. You're gonna see this team comp pretty often in arena. Maybe not so nowadays as much, but still pretty good in the current meta, I'd say, just for defense. You're gonna see we proc a counter, and right away we actually will hit back with S2. And you can kind of see that Rwana does stop Byblis, which is funny. The thing that is, even though Byblis counters counterattackers, Rwana counters Byblis. So that's kind of the biggest problem with Byblis. She kind of gets countered by things that also counter things similar to her. So Rwana and LHC will, kind of just destroy her, right? So here we go. What we're gonna do is probably S3 into the LRK with ML Hwayoung, and I don't think this will kill because mine isn't full damage. Yeah, but we still get decent damage off. And even though this goes off, this will not proc Byblis' S2, but it will proc Rwana's, right? So you can kind of see these work very well together against these ML Landies and Delians and even Abyssal Fine to an extent. Passive happens. And we're going to put up this revive buff, which should be very nice because it'll stop the ML Hwayoung from dying. Oh, I guess she doesn't get buffs. Haha, I'm trolling. Kind of forgot she doesn't get buffs here, but I don't think she should die. Or at least I hope she doesn't die. So we get another attack here. Byblis will spit back. And of course, when... Oh, strips all the buffs, which is very good. Forgot she does that. That's like the biggest part of her kit, honestly. If I wasn't auto here, I would silence the ML Landy. And of course, that would be very good as well. Decrease the chance, so I'm more likely to dodge than get hit. I do dodge, and then you can see ML Hwayoung will bat back and hit a target here. And I think my ML Hwayoung should do a ton of damage. Yeah, that's defense broken from Byblis. It's just crazy strong. Secondary attack, so my Rwana will heal. And now if something counterattacks, my Byblis will just counter again, right? But she doesn't. And keep in mind, my Byblis doesn't have that much skill enhances, so she can be a lot better than advertised, right? Yeah, 70k into a defense broken target, nothing too crazy, some insane damage, right? If you're asking why I have ML Carrick, I have no idea. Actually, I literally forgot ML Hwayoung can't get buffed, which is like her passive. So attack buff doesn't work on her. But I guess he's here to stop the provoke from Valiant, which is just fine. Big damage. And we're just hoping that, we don't dual attack randomly. And this should be an easy peasy wrap. So that is Byblis, guys. Not super overpowered or anything, but she does really do well in her niche. I think she's very fun to use, and paired with Rwana and just, a solid tank down comp against counter attackers, she's extremely, extremely good for arena offense and also for Guild Wars offense, and even as a very late counter pick in World Arena. So if you guys are interested in pulling for her, definitely, if you like her design, go for it, but I don't think she's that great of a character. If you want to see the full reasons why I think she's not that great, even though she's limited, make sure you guys check out my last video I uploaded talking about her. And as always, guys, thank you for watching and for supporting the channel. And I will see you guys next video.